A lovely good afternoon to you. I've just realised, I think it's stopped raining. Oh, the weather. It's been fun. Well, actually, I'll be quite honest, it hasn't really mattered too much to me because I'm on a hill. But the rain has been incredible over the past 24 hours. I'm going to take you down to the pond because I want to show you just how much rain has fallen because of the sheer volume of water coming through the pond at the moment. Now, I've just had my lunch. Oh, it was delicious. I'll show you what I've had in a minute. And I brought my laptop with my little hotspot on the phone through to the kitchen because it's warm in here, because it's actually started to get quite cold. So when I do take you outside, it'll be a quick whisk down the driveway and back up. Yes, and there's the boy. He says, yes, Mum, it's cold. But I don't mind. I like to go out. I know you do, Jack. We'll go out in a moment. So, let me just show you what I've been making. My little compost bucket down there. So, this is what I refer to as my cauldron of plenty. It's not meant to sound witchy, okay? But I find this is such an easy way to do a meal. And you can really cram in all the goodness that you want to cram in if you just use one big bowl, aka cauldron. Oh gosh. I'm sure the food that I eat makes me laugh, you know, because it doesn't really matter what kind of a situation I find myself in. I am inclined to see the funny side of it, you know, and to laugh. Anyway, so what have I put into this? Let me see if I can remember. All kinds of veggies. So there's tomato and grated carrot and boiled potato and red pepper, green pepper, onion, that's red onion, lettuce, I said cucumber, didn't I? Kidney beans, and then lots and lots of spices. So in this one I've put in paprika, smoked paprika, oh I love that, garlic pepper, chilli, that's mild chilli, because the hot stuff I just can't hack. But and then I've also put in a small jar of salsa. Okay, so I'm going to be making up a big batch of salsa soon and putting it into jars and or putting it into the freezer or something, because salsa is just gorgeous when you eat the kind of food I eat. So at the moment, what I'm eating actually is very much based on Dr. Mcdougall. My son-in-law always goes, Dr. Mcdougall, because I'm always referring to Dr. Mcdougall. But Dr. Mcdougall advises a vegan lifestyle, but also one that minimises, or in fact doesn't include, if at all possible, the use of oils and sugars and those saturated fats, etc. But plenty of starch, plenty of vegetables, plenty of fruit, and then certain fruit vegetables like avocado. The advice is a portion of avocado is actually 1/5 of an avocado. Now, for someone who's used to eating an entire avocado, 'tis little wonder I've packed on a few pounds this year. So I'm going back to what is tried and tested, and that is the Dr. Mcdougall lifestyle advice, I suppose it's called. I'm sure that I did do some videos on this. I think it was last year, because I got one of his books with lots of recipes in it and stuff, you know. Anyway, this particular kind of food fills you up, really fills you up. And it doesn't deplete your energy. You know, sometimes when you eat a great big meal, you just feel like flopping on the sofa and doing nothing. Well, this kind of food doesn't do that. You can really fill your stomach up. I mean, you can feel your stomach expanding as you're eating it, but it doesn't take away your energy. You don't get that desire to go and throw yourself on the sofa. I'm laughing because I remember all the times that I've done that. Flop on the sofa. But anyway, getting back to this, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about what I've had for my lunch is that I'm aware that there is a lot of, what I'm seeing on the internet, you know, the food banks, food poverty, poverty in general. And believe you me, I do know what poverty is, because those of you who have followed me, you know, for the years that I've been on social media will know that I come from a family of 9 living children, 11 children ostensibly, but 9 living, who grew up in a 2-up, 2-down terraced house with no bathroom and an outside toilet, and my father unemployed. So I know all about poverty. But what I wanted to say that I think there's a huge void that needs to be filled, and it doesn't need to be filled with food. It needs to be filled with knowledge and how to make a wholesome meal using vegetables and pulses, how to make a delicious and wholesome soup that serves as a dinner, how to bake a loaf of bread, thus ensuring that you have good ingredients in your bread and that your bread is worth eating. How to do the basic food preps and cooking and baking, and then some knowledge in with that about what you need to eat and drink to stay healthy. So that's the void. I don't think that there's a lack of food. I really don't. I think that there's a high dependency on what I call factory food, and that's food that's been prepared in factories for profit, thus ensuring that the people who eat that food are not getting good nutrition. Because if you're going to make food ostensibly for profit, you're not really taking pride in it. You're not an artisan, cook or baker or chef or whatever. If you're just a corporation or a factory turning it out for profit, you're just going to use the cheapest ingredients. You're not really going to be too concerned with the health of the people who are buying your food. So, getting back to basics and doing some homemade stuff, hugely important. Hugely important. I think he's waiting to go out. He says, Mum, I like listening to you, but you're talking a load of old piffle. No, should we go out then, Jack? Okay. No, oh look, I've been out robbing. This is what impoverished grandmothers in the west of Ireland do. got a Christmas tree. Look at this. I've stuck it in a bucket filled with stones. And I'm going to be decorating it later on. And I have just looking at this, it's flashing. Sorry, I'm sort of deviating a bit here. I don't know why I am. Put my glasses on. Have a little peek at this. Have I got it on the right setting? Yes, I think I have. Okay. Myself and my daughter went for a walk, a great big long walk, way up over Kilronan Mountain over there on Sunday. Oh, it was such a beautiful day. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And there was this gorgeous sunset and it was lovely. Now, I did bring a saw with me because I knew that with previous storms there'd be lots of trees blown over. And this was one of those. And I took the saw and I took the top of it because, of course, the top is of no use to the loggers. And, I did actually choose the best top on the best fallen tree. But, it's gorgeous, isn't it? So I'm going to be decorating that later on. I've got some battery powered lights. And look forward to that. Now, okay, Jack, we shall mosey on out this way. Don't know why this thing is flashing at all. Come on, out we go. I keep this door closed during the winter. The door through to the sitting room, because it keeps the interior of the cottage at a nice ambient temperature. So I'm just going to put this down for a moment while I put my coat on, because I could just start pelting it down again, you know. And a little brooch fell off there. I don't want to get caught in the rain. So, just put my hood up here. There we go. Now, so you can see I've been feeding the birds there. And they're very, very hungry at the moment because, of course, the birds get incredibly hungry during weather like this. Just put my keys in the door. I don't want to lock myself out. Because the last time I locked myself out, I had to take a sledgehammer to open the door. I'm not to be trusted, really. Another thing, to do with the whole situation regarding food poverty and food banks, etc., is that a lot of people, in fact a whole generation of people, if not 2 generations of people, have become highly dependent on food that other people make. Takeaways and packaged food in supermarkets. But something else I've noticed that sort of moved along in tandem with this. And I'm saying this because I'm very fond of movies made during the 60s and 70s, and I quite often look back on some of those films or documentaries. People's dress, the way people dress, has become as sloppy as the food that they're eating. It's almost as though they don't care anymore. So that whole sense of self-care seems to have become very diminished. I don't know if you've seen that, or if this strikes a chord with you. But I do find it very interesting. I was looking at some street scenes shot in London during the 70s, and everyone looked really, I don't want to use the word smart, because that's almost patronising, but everyone looked interestingly dressed and very individualistic as well. And then I looked at similar scenes shot recently, and everyone was looking what can only be described as very dour. All the same kind of clothes, trainers and kind of sloppy baggy pants and dark colours, and you know, the only thing that seemed to jump out at you was the designer labels. So that's kind of an interesting observation, I think. Anyway, look at the flooding. Jack, come back up here. Come on. Come on. Yeah, even the driveway is running with water at the moment. So I'm going to just take you right up through, well, if I can. Don't know how wet the land is. Look at this. The dragon has almost drowned. And remember that little ditch that I showed you on the previous video? Look how it's running. Well, that's good, of course. Good news. The stream, as it wends its way down along the land, is filled to capacity, I think. The banks are just about holding the water in. And you can hear the squelch as I traverse the land here. Of course, you can also see where I've been filling in the pond. And I'm just going to take you over here to where the stream runs into the pond. And you see all the sand, all the silt and the sand that's been washed down there. It's looking very yellow, sort of orangey yellow. Quite a flow on it, huh? So look at this. Now that's quite a rush of water, isn't it? walk up to the spring well. Just following the water course up to where the spring well begins to feed it. Now you can hear the rush of water. Look at this. And that's one of the little drainage ditches, and that's running like a stream. Just go back along here. And here's the drainage ditch here. And you can see where another little ditch joins it, and again quite a massive amount of water. It's a good thing I cleared most of this off the leaves, but I've got a fair bit of cutting back still to do. This is going to continue all the way through the winter months. Of course, this is part of the fairy wood. Whoa, it's a bit squelchy. There's another little drain that I took out. You can see where the water is pooling there. And then it's like a little mini spring well. It's running off down that way. This is as much of a walk as Jack is getting today, unless it's a dramatic dry up later on, because the road down beyond the gate is very badly flooded. Poor birds. And of course, with all the beautiful ground cover here, at least they have a bit of shelter, you know. This is where evergreens come in very, very useful. Lots and lots of mixed planting. And of course what I see a lot of the birds do now, especially the blackbirds, is they come along and they pull up the leaves, because of course they know that there's lots of edibles underneath. Another reason for not clearing up leaves, you know. If you want to do some tidying up, get into your house and tidy up. And if it's all looking tidy, have a good old nose through your wardrobe. That might need a bit of a tidying up. Come on, we have to go in. It's just a bit too wet, darling. Come on, come on. Ooh, and cold. I'm getting colder, according to the radio. Ooh, getting a lot colder. Oh, let me just pop that down there for a minute. What have I done with my glasses? Oh, there they are. Right. Oh, I must just show you this photograph, which is up here. I must put it in a wee frame, actually. Take it over to the light. In 2002, I visited Romania. And this is what I spent a lot of my money on. feeding stray dogs. Oh. Of course, wherever you go, you know, where there is poverty, you will find lots and lots of hungry animals. I was buying strings of sausages and stuff, you know. Anyway, there we go. Oh, and before anyone says, and what about the people? I spend a lot of time and a lot of money around orphanages, and I won't say anything more than that. There's a magpie out there on the tree, can you see? Oh, sorry, Jack. Jack's waiting to go through to the sitting room. Come on then. Come on. Oh, it's lovely. There's a sort of a wave of warm air hits you. That's gorgeous. I'm so blessed. I always remember my grandmother. You know, she used to say, oh, thank God for my bed. And she said, thank God for my fire. Thank God for my food. She was always thanking God. But basically what she was saying, if you take the religion out of it, she was just putting out thanks generally for what many of us now take for granted. Well, look how the lens is fogged up because we've come in from the cold into the warmth. Well, with that beautiful image of misty light